The rise and fall of the Aztecs. The Aztecs, a civilization of warriors, builders, and visionaries. Their empire rose from the swamps of central Mexico to dominate one of the largest and most powerful societies of the ancient world. But their greatness came with blood, sacrifice, and ultimately, tragedy. This is the story of the Aztecs. The Aztecs called themselves the Mexica. They were a nomadic tribe from the north who, according to legend, wandered for generations in search of a promised land. Their god, Huitzilopochtli, had given them a prophecy. They would find their home where they saw an eagle perched on a cactus, devouring a snake. After years of searching, around the year 1325, they arrived at the Valley of Mexico. On a swampy island in the middle of Lake Texcoco, they saw the prophecy fulfilled. There, they founded their city, Tenochtitlan. What began as a humble settlement of reed huts would grow into one of the most extraordinary cities of the ancient world. Tenochtitlan became a masterpiece of engineering. The Aztecs built canals, causeways, and aqueducts that supplied fresh water to the city. They invented chinampas, floating gardens that allowed them to grow crops on the lake. To Spanish eyes, centuries later, Tenochtitlan would appear like a city rising out of the water, with shimmering temples and bustling markets. From the beginning, the Aztecs were fierce warriors. They believed that war was not only a political necessity, but also a sacred duty. According to their mythology, the sun needed human blood to rise every day. Sacrifice was not cruelty in their eyes, it was survival, the balance of the universe. Prisoners of war became offerings to the gods, their hearts lifted high atop temple pyramids. Through alliances and conquest, the Aztecs built a powerful empire. In 1428, they formed the Triple Alliance with Texcoco and Tlacopan, and together they dominated central Mexico. By the early 16th century, the Aztec Empire stretched from the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean, ruling over millions of people. At the heart of the empire was Tenochtitlan, with its magnificent Templo Mayor, the Great Pyramid. Two staircases rose to twin shrines, one for Huitzilopochtli, the god of war, and the other for Tlaloc, the god of rain. Religious festivals filled the city with music, dance, and rituals. Markets overflowed with goods, cacao, obsidian, textiles, and exotic birds. At its height, Tenochtitlan may have housed 200,000 people, rivaling the great cities of Europe. But for all their wealth and power, the Aztecs made enemies. Conquered peoples resented the heavy tribute demanded by the empire, and many feared the constant demand for sacrificial victims. Beneath the glittering surface of Aztec power, resentment simmered. Then, in 1519, strangers arrived on the eastern coast of Mexico. Led by Hernán Cortés, a small band of Spanish conquistadors marched inland. They were vastly outnumbered, but they carried steel weapons, horses, and deadly diseases that the Aztecs had never seen before. More importantly, they forged alliances with native peoples who hated Aztec rule. When the Spaniards reached Tenochtitlan, they were stunned. Bernal Diaz, a soldier with Cortés, later wrote, "When we saw so many cities and villages built on the water and other great towns on dry land, we were amazed. It seemed like an enchanted vision." At first, the Aztec Emperor Moctezuma Tet welcomed Cortés into the city, perhaps believing him to be a god, or perhaps hoping to avoid bloodshed. But tensions quickly erupted. The Spaniards seized Moctezuma, riots broke out, and war began. In 1520, during a festival in Tenochtitlan, the Spaniards massacred thousands of unarmed Aztecs. The city exploded in fury. Moctezuma was killed, whether by his own people or the Spaniards remains a mystery. The Spaniards tried to flee, but on the night of June 30th, they were ambushed as they attempted to escape across the causeways. Hundreds of Spaniards and their allies drowned under the weight of stolen gold. This became known as La Noche Triste, the Night of Sorrows. Yet the Spaniards did not give up. They regrouped, gathered more native allies, and returned to lay siege to Tenochtitlan. For 93 brutal days, the Aztecs fought desperately. But famine, disease, and superior Spanish weaponry took their toll. On August 13, 1521, the great city of Tenochtitlan fell. The empire of the Aztecs was no more. The Spaniards destroyed temples, filled canals, and built Mexico City on the ruins of Tenochtitlan. But the memory of the Aztecs did not disappear. Their culture, language, and traditions survived, blended into the fabric of modern Mexico. The symbol of the eagle on a cactus, the prophecy that led them to their home, lives on today at the center of the Mexican flag. The story of the Aztecs is one of brilliance and tragedy. They were master builders, artists, and astronomers. They created poetry, music, and codices filled with wisdom, yet they were also warriors bound by a harsh religion of blood and sacrifice. To some, they were ruthless conquerors. To others, they were guardians of cosmic balance. Enigmatic, powerful, and unforgettable, the Aztecs remind us that even the mightiest empires can rise from nothing and just as quickly fall to dust. From a swampy island in Lake Texcoco to one of the greatest cities of the ancient world, the legacy of the Aztecs still beats in the heart of Mexico. If you want more epic stories from history, subscribe and join us on this journey.